So if you would like to make better pictures, you should follow the exposure triangle. And you may say, what's exposure triangle? It's pretty much a guide that you can use to see how dark or how bright your image is. And it's a triangle because it's composed of three things. But before we go to those, what is exposure? I can mention exposure is how dark or bright your image is. Do not confuse exposure with composition. Composition is on the creative side, while the exposure triangle is on the technical side. Just keep that in mind. Stay with me. Trying to, make it easy. So the exposure triangle is composed by, composition, whatever. It's composed by aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. The aperture is how much light does your lens gather. Some lenses are better at gathering light than others. Some of them are more compact because of science and physics. But to make it short, the lower the F number is, that's how it's measured, is by the F number. The lower the F number is, the brighter it will be. But the brighter it is, the more shallow depth of field you will have, which means blurrier background. That's on the aperture. Okay? Aperture, low aperture, blurry background. Higher aperture, more sharpness overall. You get sharpness of the whole thing. There's lenses that have 1.8, there's lenses that have 1.4 and even lower. And there's lenses that have f4, 5.6. So those numbers, the higher they go, the less light you can get with them, But let's say your lens is not enough for that, you have the other sides of the exposure triangle. You have shutter speed, which pretty much is how fast does your shutter take a picture, or how fast it is to take light. Pretty much is measured by 1 over hundreds or thousands. And depending how you change this, it can make the picture either, let's say in video, it can make it more natural looking or more weird looking. And nowadays, you may see more creative people using the lower shutter speed to have a different artistic side, let's say, or artistic look, while the higher shutter speed is usually used for capturing motion, movement and all that. Just keep in mind that the higher the shutter speed, the darker it will be. The lower it is, the brighter it is, right? Just something to take in consideration. When you're taking, let's say, landscape, like I mentioned with the other lenses, when you're missing the power, let's say, or the light from the not having a low aperture, you will have to lower your shutter speed. That way you can still get everything in focus, but you still gather enough light, right? So let's say you're using aperture and shutter speed to the most that you can, and now they are not enough for your use. There's the ISO, which is the third side. That's how sensitive is your sensor to gather light. The lower it is, the sharper it is. The higher it is, the noisier it will get. The higher it is, the brighter it will be. The lower it is, the darker it is. The only number that is better when it goes low is the aperture. Have you noticed that 2 out of 3 are better higher than lower? So for instance, for certain needs, of course, let's say if you're capturing people moving in a sport, you would like to have the higher shutter speed, meaning that you can capture motion better. And how you counter high shutter speed and low light? With your friend, the aperture, and with your friend, the ISO. But just keep in mind, the higher you go, the noisier it is, more grain. That's what they call noise. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, you know what? No, it's not it. When you're recording, when you're taking video, there's a rule to follow that if you're recording on 30 FPS, 60 FPS, or 120, or even 24, your shutter speed should be double. By double, I mean, I'm shooting 24 right now. My shutter speed is 50, like it's supposed to. I mean, it says supposed to be, but it's the general rule of to follow. And if it's 30, you go 60. If it's 60, 120, 120 to 40, okay? If they are not matching, it's not the end of the world, but it may look a little bit different and not that pleasant to the eye. Like right now, everything looks normal. You can see how stuff goes blurry. But if you go the other way, it may not look as natural looking. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, keep that in mind. If you're taking pictures of landscape, you do not need that low of an aperture. You should be good. If you're taking of motorsports or animals, you know, having higher shutter speed, it's better. I'm sorry, having higher shutter speed but having a lower light lens is better. Only if you're taking pictures at night. If you're taking pictures in the morning time where there's daylight, good to go. But if you're a night person, you may want to take a look into, 1.8, like the Nifty 50, which is really nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something, and have a great one.